Good afternoon, Alan Vandenberg here. Another episode of EQ for You. I believe this is episode number 5. Today's topic is going to be talking about adapting to change can hurt sometimes. So you'll want to stay tuned for this. We're operating off of an idea put together by Daniel Goleman that 75% of a person or team success is not their IQ. So just a little something before we kind of get started here. Still do have books available. EQ Kill the Radio Star came out in February. Best time ever to launch a book was February 2020. Mark that down. So they're still available. It offers up some EQ skills. There's 6 EQ skills inside the book, including one we're going to talk about today called programming. So I believe EQ will be even more important as we continue to find our way back into the workplace after this couple of months of working from home, working remotely, and some of us are still doing that. But I think EQ is really going to play a big part in how the new workplace is going to interact and work together. So before we get to today's topic, I'd just like to do a little shout out to my youngest daughter, Ashley, who is graduating this Saturday. We're going to be talking about adapting to change and that sort of thing. And boy, I can tell you, I'm so proud of my daughter, Ashley, and how she has just adapted to all this change that's happening. She thought graduation was going to be this weekend. She thought that, she was going to be doing some internship at some schools, and that lasted for a little bit, but she's really done a great job of adapting to change. So for Ashley, this goes out to you. All right, now let's go to the topic. So today's topic is adapting to change can hurt sometimes, right? A few years ago, I was able to attend a neuroscience leadership certificate and certification, and I was introduced to the fixed mindset versus the growth mindset. And so our mindset is really like a rubber band. And today it's really stretched to the limit if you think about a fixed versus growth mindset. What most of us prefer is certainty, clarity, predictability. Everything's going to be kind of the same. And what we see more recently is absolutely not that. Mostly what we see is fear, uncertainty, change that we have limited or zero control over. And we see this kind of everywhere. It's just happening. It's a part of it. And quite frankly, it's been happening for a long time, but it's really sped up in the last few months for sure. So the question today is, how can we continue towards a growth mindset and keep flexibility during these times? So how can we continue towards a growth mindset and flexibility during these times? So for those of you who don't know me, after I retired from my pickup basketball career at the YMCA, I began to take up the workout of bicycling, road bicycling particularly. So I bought me a track bike. I've been riding, particularly during the coronavirus here. I put 700 miles on my bike so far in 2020. I know that's crazy, but it's just the coronavirus. I get to ride to work and things like that. So, but one area of biking that I have not ever embraced is the idea of a clipped shoe. So it's where you lock your shoe into the pedal to help you push and pull better. So note, I said you lock yourself in. So I just didn't like the idea. A few weeks ago, I had a friend of mine, his name is Jeff, and he called me up. He said, Alan, I've got an extra set of shoes and clips. Would you be interested in trying it? And of course, my self-talk and my emotion of fear and my fixed mindset took over, and I said, no. But as we talked back and forth, I was like, okay, Jeff, let me try it out. So I get in my car, put my bike in there, and I go to Jeff's house. He sets up my bike with the clips and the shoes, and he shows me kind of around the neighborhood how these clips kind of work, how you click in, how you click out. And we rode around a few blocks around his neighborhood, and I thought, okay, let me try this. Let me take my bike home. Let me run my normal, I usually do a 21-mile trek around Tulsa, and that's kind of what I did. And so I did that that afternoon. And problem number one, I had only taken my shoes off at Jeff's house once. So one of the things that happened right away is I couldn't get my clips off of my shoes. I couldn't get my shoes off of my feet. I did not know how to do it. It was very easy once I was shown, but that was a problem. But the first thing that happened to me is I got done with this 21-mile bike ride. I felt pretty good about using these clips, and I get to my driveway and I immediately crash onto my driveway. What had happened was I was leaning the wrong way. So I kind of laughed at it a little bit, hoping the neighbors didn't see me, which they didn't, luckily. So I felt pretty good that I kind of knew what was going on. But 2 days later, I decided to take a different route. And I go up this very steep side of this place called Turkey Mountain here in Tulsa. And as I reached the very, very top, now granted, I was not in the right gear for sure. I lost momentum and I completely crashed on this concrete. And I got a pretty good little damage to my arm. Let's say I got a bloody shiner that was on my forearm, and it hurt. It was bloody. But I kind of knew that I shouldn't have done that, but I did it anyway. And so, riding with road bike clip shoes, I have been getting better here and there, and I haven't really had a crash since then, but I really was disappointed in that major crash. So when I got home, I started looking over the last 2 or 3 rides that I've been using these shoes, and since I converted to clip shoes, my average speed per hour rose from 14 miles an hour to 15 miles an hour in my normal 21 mile track. Wow. Did I adapt to change? Oh, well, yeah, a little bit. Did it hurt me? Yeah, I got my arm was all bloodied up. I'll post pictures of it. You'll see. Did I survive? Yes. Was it worth it? Well, yes. I improved my efficiency. So the EQ question for the day today is, what are you resisting with your fixed mindset today? What are you resisting with your fixed mindset today? Is it new customers? Is it new technology? Is it a new process? Is it the way coworkers work around you? And that piece right there. Changing our fixed mindset requires us to understand our programming. In the book EQ Killed the Radio Star, I discussed programming in one of the chapters. And it talks about what we've seen, what we've experienced, and what we've been told as our programming. History. When I had my bike wreck, I will undoubtedly tell you, the self-talk was, Alan, you're an idiot. What are you doing? Why did you change the gears? Why didn't you unclip? I will tell you that the next time I rode up that hill, my emotions were quite high. So our programming leads to self-talk, which leads to emotions, which leads to behavior. I could have chosen to quit, but I didn't. So after the crash on the concrete, my self-talk, I will tell you, every time I go up that hill, I still remind myself of that time I crashed, but I refuse to give up. I continue to learn and open my eyes and ways of doing this differently with riding with new clip shoes. And the result was increased performance. It's about changing our programming, creating a new paradigm shift, having a growth mindset, increasing performance. What might you be talking yourself out of? I could have totally talked myself out of these clip shoes, but I think I've kind of talked myself into them, actually. And I know Jeff's waiting for me to say, hey, are you going to really do this? Or, yeah, I think I am. In December of 2019, Gallup wrote an article. It was called How to Adapt to Constant Change. Create It. And in that article, they talk about 70% of the decisions that we make are emotional. I will tell you that when I wrecked, if you would have asked me, Alan, are you going to use these clip shoes? I might not have said yes, but I did. I got back on the bike and I just kept going. So I could have talked myself out of the new way of riding it, but I didn't. So the EQ challenge for today is this. Find one thing that you have resisted to change. Find one thing that you're resistant to change. Run towards the fear, try the new behavior, and see if you get a different result. Again, find one thing that you've been resistant to change on. Run towards the fear, try a new behavior, and see if you get a different result. I certainly did. I will tell you, did it hurt? Absolutely. Adapting to change hurt, but the reality is that my performance increased by 1 mile per hour, which is a big deal on a bike, I'm telling you. So hopefully this was helpful today. I love doing these EQ for you little segments. And if you want, please reach out to me on any of the social medias. I love to hear from you. I love to chat with you. Reach out. Let me know how things are going. Would love to stay in touch with you. All right, great. Have a great day. Talk to you soon.